Welcome back to the deep dive. I'm genuinely excited you're joining us today because we're about to unpack a story that's been told for thousands of years. Yet it feels surprisingly fresh and relevant, especially for, anyone navigating the constant stream of information and challenges today.
Huh.
Our single source for this dive is excerpts from Parable of the Sower Story.pdf. And our mission, it's really to go beyond just the surface of this ancient narrative, to dig into the insights it holds about how we take in new ideas, how we deal with setbacks, and critically, how we cultivate our own personal growth. As we explore this, maybe think about this for yourself. How often do new concepts land for you and really truly take root, flourish into something meaningful? Or do they sometimes just sort of evaporate before you even notice? This deep dive offers, I think, a really powerful metaphor for understanding your own inner landscape when it comes to learning and growing.
It's quite remarkable, isn't it, how a story from millennia ago can still hit so close to home today? Especially now, with this sheer overload of information we face daily. This isn't just some dusty old tale. It's a really compact piece of wisdom, layered. It kind of forces us to look inward, doesn't it?
Yeah.
To grasp how we receive things, internalize them, act on them. What's truly fascinating, I think, is its enduring power to offer such relevant guidance for you right here, right now.
Absolutely. And, to really get its depth, we have to start with the story itself. So let's picture it. There's a farmer, a sower, going out to scatter seeds. Just a fundamental act, really. The start of growth. As these seeds fly out, they land on very different kinds of ground. And that's where the lesson kicks in. Some seeds, our source tells us, fell right onto the path. That hard-packed earth. Those seeds didn't stand a chance. Birds just swooped down, ate them up, gone.
Just like that. No opportunity at all.
Exactly. Then the farmer keeps going, and some seeds land on rocky ground. Now, this isn't solid rock, but like a thin layer of soil over stone. These seeds sprouted really fast, almost looked promising, bursting up with enthusiasm.
Yeah. That initial burst.
But because the soil was so shallow, there wasn't enough depth. The roots couldn't go deep. So when the sun came out, blazing hot, it just scorched them. They withered away, couldn't handle the heat, dried right up.
No resilience there.
None at all. Moving on, other seeds fell among thorns. Now, these seeds found a place to germinate too, but they weren't alone. The thorns, already there, tough and established, grew up right alongside them.
Crowding them out.
Completely. Overshadowed them, choked the young plants. The result, no grain, no fruit, nothing. They were just stifled before they could really produce anything.
A different kind of failure.
Yeah. But then, our source describes the last category, and this is where the hope is. Some seeds fell on good soil, rich, deep soil. And these seeds, finally, they just thrived. They grew strong, deep roots. And they produced this amazing harvest, some yielding 30 times, some 60, some even 100 times what was planted.
An incredible return.
Incredible. A real testament to the right conditions. And after telling this story, the narrative ends with this powerful, almost challenging statement. Whoever has ears to hear, let them hear. It's like a call, isn't it? To really listen. To think deeper than the words.
In that line, whoever has ears to hear, that's really the hinge, right? If we connect this to the bigger picture, it's suddenly so clear this isn't just about farming tips.
Definitely not.
It's a profound metaphor for something much closer to home, our human experience. The farmer, the seeds, the different soils, they all represent parts of our lives, our minds, our potential for growth. It immediately makes you wonder, doesn't it? Which of these soils do my own ideas, my intentions, the things I learn, where do they usually land?
Yeah, do they sprout and thrive?
Or do they hit these obstacles, things that stop them from really flourishing? This ancient story is, well, it's basically a guide to self-assessment.
That's a great way to put it. And here's where it gets really interesting. Because the source doesn't just give us the parable and leave us hanging. It gives a direct interpretation. It unlocks the meaning. It clearly states the seed represents the word of God. Now, for our purposes here, maybe in a more secular way, we can think of the word as any big idea, any piece of wisdom, something significant we learn.
Or a new habit, even.
Exactly, a new habit you're trying to build, or just important information. And then the key analogy, the different soils are like the hearts of people. This interpretation is just incredibly powerful. It gives us a framework, a way to look at ourselves, our own receptivity, our internal conditions.
Precisely. And this immediately raises a crucial question for your life today. How do we actually use this ancient wisdom? If the seed is knowledge or insights or goals, and the soil is our internal state, our mind, our focus, our willingness, then understanding these different soil types becomes, well, absolutely vital for personal growth. for making sense of all the stuff coming at you daily.
Right. It's about knowing what conditions inside us either help or hinder real growth.
Exactly. It's about recognizing those internal and sometimes external factors.
Okay, so let's break these 4 types down, these hearts or soils. See what lessons they hold. We'll start with the path heart. That's about ideas that just aren't received at all. Remember those seeds. On the path, eaten by birds.
Right. Our source explains this type of heart as one where some hear the word but let Satan snatch it away. Now, putting this specific term aside for a moment, we can interpret that snatching away force as anything that immediately distracts.
Like a notification.
Exactly, or dismisses, or just makes an idea vanish before it can even settle in. For you, think about how easily a new insight or even a good intention can just get filtered out, pushed aside instantly. Is it simple distraction, like you said, constant pings, or maybe immediate judgment, nah, that's not for me. Or perhaps it's, a kind of cognitive bias, where we only really hear what fits what we already think.
That makes sense.
Psychologically, this touches on attentional bias. We're often wired to filter things out that don't match our current focus, so these seeds get snatched away before they even register deeply. It's that immediate, almost unconscious rejection or loss.
That makes perfect sense about that instant dismissal. But I wonder, is there a point where just too much information, even good seeds, just overwhelms us? Does that lead to a kind of attention fatigue where maybe everything becomes a path heart because we just can't cope?
Oh, absolutely. That's a brilliant point, and a very modern version of the path heart.
Hmm.
In this age of information overload, our capacity for deep attention, it's finite. It really is. When we're bombarded, our brain often just defaults to skimming the surface, essentially hardening the path of our attention. So even if the info is valuable, if we haven't made mental space, poof, it's gone. It's not just external birds distracting us, but maybe an internal defense mechanism against overload.
But at the cost of potential growth.
Exactly, at a cost.
That really resonates. Okay, so moving from the unreceived, we then get the rocky heart. This was where seeds shot up fast, looked great initially, but then withered. Shallow soil, scorching sun.
Yeah, the source says this signifies those who receive it with joy but fall away when troubles come. This is such a deeply insightful observation about us, isn't it? So many of us can relate to that initial buzz of excitement for a new habit, right? Like, I'm going to meditate every day.
Guilty.
Or tackling a tough learning goal, like mastering some complex software. But then difficulties pop up, it gets uncomfortable, the novelty wears off, and that initial enthusiasm just fades.
Fizzles out.
Yeah. And this isn't just about lacking commitment, maybe. It could speak to our modern desire for instant results, or even toxic positivity. We cheer for the start of something new, but often bail on the hard part, the deep root-building phase.
We mistake those quick sprouts for real strength.
Exactly. We mistake quick sprouts for true resilience. So what stops depth and persistence in your learning journey? Do you find yourself abandoning potentially transformative ideas when they demand effort beyond that first spark? This rocky ground symbolizes a lack of that deep foundational engagement needed to weather storms.
So it's the gap between surface excitement and real deep conviction.
Got it.
Now this next one, the thorny heart. This one feels so incredibly relevant to our modern crammed lives, and we've all felt that, haven't we? The promise of a new idea slowly getting choked out by life.
These were the seeds that started okay. They grew a bit, but the thorns just took over and choked them. No grain produced.
That's a perfect setup because the source gives a very clear explanation. Some hear it, but the worries of life and love of wealth choke it. This is arguably the most common soil condition you might face today.
I can see that. In our super busy, success-driven world, think how often daily anxieties, job pressures, chasing money, or just the sheer volume of commitments, how often do these things distract from or just suppress deeper understanding? Real personal growth. Think about it. What thorns might be crowding out important seeds in your life right now? Maybe you started a course or a self-improvement plan, only to find it slowly squeezed out by work demands, financial stress.
Or even just scrolling social media.
Or the pull of consumerism, social media, exactly. This thorny heart lets all those external pressures, the constant notifications, the busyness trap, it lets them suffocate internal growth. It can feel like decision fatigue, almost.
Yeah.
We just don't have the mental bandwidth left to nurture the important seeds that aren't screaming for urgent attention.
That's so true. It's often not a deliberate rejection, more like a passive suffocation by everything else demanding our focus. Okay, and finally the hopeful one, the goal maybe, the good soil heart. These were the seeds that just worked, grew well, produced that rich harvest 30, 60, even 100 times more.
hmm This represents those who receive the word into good soil, their hearts, and it grows and produces lasting fruit. This is the ideal state, yes. For you, what does this ideal actually look like? It's not just about passively receiving information, it's about having the right internal setup, a receptive mind, an open heart, and actively creating an environment inside and out where what you learn can genuinely take root.
And survive challenges.
Exactly, survive challenges and ultimately produce something meaningful, lasting in your life. This isn't just understanding, it's application, it's transformation. It means actively cultivating things like curiosity, patience, and a real willingness to integrate new knowledge into how you see the world and how you act,
Leading to real results.
leading to tangible, positive outcomes. It's about being prepared, yes, but also about ongoing care and nourishment. So what's really fascinating here, I think, is that the parable isn't just a warning about what can go wrong, it's also a profound encouragement. It shifts the focus, doesn't it? Away from the seed itself, the info, the idea, the chance, and puts the spotlight squarely on the soil, on our own receptivity, our environment, our readiness.
How prepared we are.
Exactly. It's understanding that the quality of our internal landscape, our heart in this metaphor, largely dictates the outcome. If we connect this to the bigger picture, this ancient wisdom gives us a timeless framework for understanding growth, learning, resilience, no matter your background or what the seed actually is. It's a powerful lesson in self-awareness and, crucially, in cultivation. It reminds us we have a big active role in how things grow within us.
So what does this all mean for you as you go about your week? We've walked through this seemingly simple story, farmer, seeds, different grounds. And in doing that, we've uncovered, I think, a really profound and surprisingly practical metaphor for our own lives. This deep dive into the parable of the sower, it was about way more than just an old story. It was about understanding our own capacity for growth and transformation and recognizing the conditions, inside and out, that either let us flourish or maybe hold us back, taking stock of our inner landscape.
Indeed. And the source itself actually ends with a powerful feeling, almost a prayer, for one's heart to be like good soil, to receive the word and bear fruit. But what if cultivating good soil isn't just a passive hope or a prayer? What if it's an active, ongoing practice, a daily discipline even? So, this week, here's a challenge for you to consider. What intentional, conscious steps can you take to prepare your soil for growth? Whether it's for a new skill you're trying to learn, or a tough project at work, or maybe understanding something complex more deeply, or even just gaining more profound personal insights, could you take just a moment to say, clear the path a little, deepen the soil, or maybe actively pull out some of those thorns that are encroaching so that the seeds you plant, the ones that matter to you, can truly thrive and yield a rich harvest in your life? What one small thing could you maybe do today or this week to make your inner landscape just a little more fertile?
That's a truly powerful and, very actionable thought to carry with us. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive, for sharing your curiosity, and for really listening. We look forward to our next exploration together.